Hi, I'm Aaron Potts, and I'm a fashion designer in Brooklyn, New York. I started my journey in fashion and art back in Detroit, Michigan. As a kid, I was always sketching and painting. I was also a very shy kid. I was very introverted. But once I found this artistic expression, it just opened up this whole part of my life, and it helped actually open up a part of myself. It was as much about creative expression as it was about just finding myself as a person. When I moved to New York City and started at Parsons, the first day we got a product list. And on that list was a Winsor Newton gouache paint set. And we had to learn how to use those paints to make every color, every shade, every tone. And what I found was that I used them to express the spirit of what a fabric does. Sometimes I want my brushes to be a little drier to give more texture. If I want something to feel more floaty and airy, I'll put more water into it and let it be more of a diminished shade of that color so that it looks like there's air around it and you can see through it. You can actually use all the different tones and shades to build shadow, which gives you the three-dimensionality of fabric and how clothes look on a human body. I would say that the paint starts to help tell the story of what the fabric is, how it hangs, how it moves, so you can actually use the paint to make it look three-dimensional and not so flat. One of the things that I decided for myself was that I wanted to be considered an artist first. I would say that fashion illustration became sort of my calling card. Whenever I would go to a new job, I would become the designated fashion illustrator for the company in addition to designing. And I would pull out my Winsor & Newton gouache paints, and it was one of the most consistent tools that I've had as a designer. I have been using these gouaches for over 30 years. I go straight from sketch to finished sample. It's one of the ways that I try to add a level of sustainability so that I'm not making inordinate amounts of things that get tossed to the side. You don't have to sacrifice the beauty and the creativity to be sustainable. If I had any advice to give to younger artists, younger designers, it would be to learn the craft of what you are doing. Because of the internet, because of social media, there's sort of these perceived fast tracks, but you can't fake knowing how to mix color. You can't fake knowing how to sew a garment. You have to learn a craft. And part of learning that craft is having the tools to do it, knowing which paints and markers and pencils work for you and your hand and what your expression is. For me, the fact that I had these tools taught to me so early on, it just imprinted in my brain and in my hand how to use these products. And I've used that really over the course of my career. When I started working after Parsons, I can't tell you how many expense reports I've done expensing Winsor & Newton paints, because I would use those paints at every single job because they had become an integral part of my creative process.